everyone, it's Smilow here at Camelback Stadium, the spring training grounds of the Chicago White Sox. Today I'm interviewing their catcher, number 21, Tyler Flowers. Also, if you like the shirt I'm wearing, go check out Touch AM, because they make really cool sportswear for the female fan. Hi Tyler, nice to meet you.
Same here, nice to meet you.
Do you have a favorite ballpark other than U.S. Cellular Field, and is there a place you feel you play well?
I would say my favorite ballpark besides U.S. Cellular would be Anaheim. I enjoy the environment there. They always pack the stadium. Plus there's an In-N-Out Burger right down the street, so I love that.
If you could change one thing about baseball, what would it be?
Well, at times I feel like I could use 4 or 5 strikes instead of 3. And then I wouldn't mind 1 or 2 whenever I'm catching. So I enjoy the game as it is. You know, we're making a bunch of changes now with speeding up. I guess if we could change anything at this point, probably get rid of all the speed up rules and just keep playing the game how it's been played for years.
What do you think about the blocking out the plate rule?
You know, I understand why they're making the changes. You know, you don't want to see premier players get injured and lose a season, which is losing fans, and you know, so it's for the safety of the players. Personally, I don't really mind it. Not too many people try and run me over. I'm usually bigger than most of the other guys, but now it just, you know, kind of eliminates any fear in your mind and makes it a little bit easier to make the plays.
What's one thing your fans don't know about you?
Probably most people don't know I'm actually a pretty good artist. I do a lot of sketches and drawings and some painting in the off season. My daughter really loves it. I'm doing all the Sesame Street characters, and now she's into Frozen, so I draw them up on canvases and put them in her playroom, and she really likes them.
What's your favorite restaurant in Chicago?
Probably the Joe's there. Great steaks, some seafood out of there. It's a little expensive for my taste, but I have it maybe once or twice a year. It's delicious.
Who has the best pizza in Chicago?
You know, I usually let my wife order all the pizza. She knows which one I like. I don't remember which one it is, to be honest. Deep dish, though. I know that.
When you go to the pitcher's mound, what do you talk or say to the pitcher?
Well, a lot of times it's just to kind of take his mind off of a frustrating time or a difficult inning. You know, at times we'll talk about dinner or, you know, what we're going to do tomorrow, just to kind of break up and get his mind off of some of the negative thoughts. And, you know, other times you go out there with the real purpose of trying to help them fix mechanics or something like that. You know, you kind of learn through spring training and practicing and working with the guy what his tendencies are, so you learn kind of what you can say to him to help him, you know, fix a couple issues and get us out of the inning. But a lot of the time it's just to go out there and kind of make him laugh or something and just ease his mind for a second and then refocus.
I know some catchers paint their nails. Do you?
Those days are kind of coming to an end. Now they make these big stickers that go on top of your nails, and they actually do a great job. They stay on there. You don't have to worry about it chipping off or your batting glove taking it off. So the company is called Game Signs, and they do a great job, and they've been adapting over the years to get it the correct size to kind of fill up your nail. But yeah, most people think we're painting our nails still, and I would say the majority of us aren't.
Does it hurt to catch fastballs or any other pitch?
Typically not. You know, the only time it really hurts, you know, like a guy like Chris Sale, he gets some unique action on some of his pitches and he doesn't really know what it's going to do. So sometimes it goes in a different direction than you anticipate. But typically that's not the issue. Usually the problem is when you get like just a foul tip. They just barely foul tip it and just change the direction of it by an inch or two. And then it hits you, you know, in your thumb or in your index finger. But just as far as them throwing a ball and me catching it, that's typically not very painful.
When a new pitcher comes into the game, how does it affect you?
Am I hitting or catching?
In your catching.
Well, usually a new pitcher's coming in for a specific matchup. So you kind of take what the situation gives you. If we bring in a lefty pitcher, he's going to be facing a lefty hitter. So it changes how you're going to call the game at that point. You also bear in mind that, this guy might only be in there for a hitter or two if there's a left-hander behind him, or if there's a left-hander behind that, and then you also pay attention to, is anybody else warming up in the bullpen for us? So, sometimes that guy will come in for just one hitter, and you maybe approach it a little differently than if you know that guy is going to have 3 hitters or a couple innings. So situation by situation, it changes.
Do you have any superstitions or rituals?
I really don't. I just try and have the same routine every day as far as my practice and, hitting off the tee, doing work in the cage. But I'm not superstitious or really don't have any rituals that I keep up with. I just, try and do the same thing over and over again.
Do you think being the catcher gives you an advantage as a batter?
No, I don't. I think it's maybe more of a disadvantage where you start overthinking situations and you think about what you would call if you're catching, and that can get you in trouble when you're up there starting to think about what pitch is going to come, or you start guessing. It makes it more challenging to kind of block your brain out of it when you're so used to keeping your brain involved when you're behind the plate. All of a sudden you get in there to hit, you got to kind of eliminate everything and just trust yourself.
What pitcher do you not like to face as a batter?
There's a few. Probably top of my head, probably Max Scherzer. He's got great stuff, great action, the guy high velocity, very good breaking ball, very good changeup. I think we've seen it for years, just how good he is. He's always a tough matchup. The one good thing about him is he'll challenge you in the situations where, you think you'll be challenged, a 2-0, a 3-1. He's not afraid to compete and just try and throw a heater by you. So I enjoy that aspect of it, but stuff-wise, he's a challenge.
Do you get tired from squatting the whole game?
At times, if we're winning, then I'm probably not too tired. If we're losing, then maybe I've worked a little more than I should be. So yeah, towards the end, you definitely get a little fatigued, but that's kind of the good thing about spring training and your off-season training, is to prepare for those longer games, or those games later in the year in September. When they really start to count, that's when you got to make sure that you had yourself in shape so you can make it throughout the course of a game.
What's the best baseball town in America, and what city needs a team?
Well, I have to say Chicago, right? Chicago's the best baseball town in America. Like a major league team, I'd like to see one in, like a Charlotte area. I know that our AAA team is there, but when I played in AAA in Charlotte, I enjoyed it. I thought the people were really passionate about it, and, they have all the other major sports in that town, so I would think that would be a pretty good spot, and it wouldn't be too far from my home in the off season either. So when I'm done playing, it'd be a short trip to see a different ball game.
What current MLB star do you admire the most, and why?
There's a few of them. I think Mike Trout's kind of come onto the scene real quick and really solidified himself as, potentially one of the best players to play the game. I admire him and his consistency in what he does. He never seems to make any major adjustments. He just really believes in himself and trusts himself through tough times and good times, and I think that's why he's, more consistent than the rest of the league.
What do you do for fun other than baseball?
I'm a passionate car guy, so I look at cars a lot. I have a few cars. I enjoy driving. That takes up a lot of my off-season hobby. I'm always tinkering with things and modifying them safely, of course. I don't do any of the crazy racing, but I enjoy just learning about cars, new cars, old cars, and that's a big part of my life.
What's your favorite ballpark food?
It's got to be a hot dog, a little mustard, ketchup. Sometimes I even put a little mayonnaise on there. I know that's kind of weird, but if you try it, you'll like it. It's pretty good.
What's your favorite ice cream?
Vanilla. I'm very plain, kind of in all those type things. I like the original, the plain version.
And what's your favorite candy bar?
KitKat, probably my favorite. You know, my wife surprised me with Whoppers every once in a while, which was a close second place.
What's the best advice anyone ever gave you, and what advice would you give to kids?
You know, probably the best advice I got, you know, was maybe not necessarily to baseball, but just, you know, to take every moment as it is. You know, trust that I'm not in charge. I just keep working hard, and God's got a plan for me, you know, wherever it ends up being. But I think that makes it easier through the difficult times. You know, this game is full of failure in every aspect of it. So, you know, to have something like that to, you know, keep you calm and keep you focused is always kind of nice. And I would offer that advice to anyone else playing. And, you know, on top of that, just continue to work hard, and whatever you're doing, you never know what's going to happen. I didn't think I'd be here. And, you know, I'm just continuing on the ride and just working hard every day.
Thank you.
Thank you.